If you ever needed proof that they're messing with our food supply, watch this video. I just posted on my other account. If you don't follow me there, do. It's the Holistic Soul RN 2.0, but I was like, I gotta put this over here. Everybody needs to see it. Look at this. If you ever wondered if they are messing, they are messing with our food supply, let me show you something.
I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this.
I feel like there's something in the food. Now all of a sudden being like, what the actual F is happening? This, my friends, is evidence, whatever that may be, that something is up.
Everything that happened in this film is relevant today. In fact, we're headed there. And some people say, baby, we're already in Soilent Green. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. We are getting into it again. I'm talking about our food here in America. What is going on? Look, there are a lot of people who believe that we are eating people. The bodies are not being buried. And we know that Bill Gates, he wants us to eat lab-grown butter and meat and all of that. Some people said, baby, it's been going on for a minute, longer than what you can imagine. Okay, so I know a lot of you are hearing about an audio that just leaked. Okay, it says that a leaked recording reveals the Campbell's executive shocking remarks about the soup's ingredients. Okay, that is bioengineered and more. And look, I stopped eating Campbell's chicken noodle soup a minute ago because the meat never seemed like real meat to me. You know, the little squares of the pink meat in there. It didn't taste like meat, and it just didn't taste good to me. The entire thing just seemed off, and there are a number of people who have said this, but now, baby, I'm going to play the audio and we're going to talk about it, as well as I'm going to show you other people showing the food, how it's not molding, how fast it's rotting, and the chicken. I want to show you something because I actually had this happen to me recently, and I had to throw the entire chicken breast away because there is no way on earth I was going to eat that. And yes, we're also going to talk about Soilent Green. I know a number of you in the comments section are going to bring up this masterpiece of a film. Some of you haven't seen it, and I'm going to tell you, I'm always putting you on to movies and everything like that. So let's see what was said about Campbell's Soup, the executive of Campbell's Soups. What's going on here?
A former Campbell Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. The
recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza says he usually worked remotely for Campbell's headquarters based in Camden, New Jersey. But thinking he'd be discussing his salary with Bally, he says the recording taken in person at a restaurant.
They couldn't think for the like you dumb
Garza says he felt sick after the rant, deciding to go to his direct supervisor in January, keeping the recordings to himself.
He had never had any disciplinary action. They had never written him up for poor work performance.
Garza says no one at Campbell's ever followed up, and it's taken him 10 months to find a new job, calling the way the canned soup company handled it simply terrible.
They have a motto, like we treat you like family, here at Campbell's, come work for us, we treat our employees like family. That's not the case.
We did just receive a statement from Campbell's that says, quote, "If accurate, the comments in the recording are unacceptable. They do not reflect our values and the culture of our company. We are actively investigating this matter."
Okay, look, this is actually the first time that I actually watched this entire clip. So this is about a lawsuit against the company. The executive was saying racist things, but also people found out that, he said that the meat is bioengineered, only poor people eat it, and I'm not bringing that in my house. It's 3D printed meat. That's what he said, okay? As well as insulting things racially. As a matter of fact, what I want to do, okay, because you might not have been able to hear everything, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in to see what he said because I couldn't make out all of it. Let's see. Okay. There it is. Okay. He says he doesn't eat this meat. This soup, is supposedly little bits of chicken in it. Okay, chicken noodle soup. He says, it's a little blurry. He says, "I don't buy effing Campbell's products for my family at home." And he's the executive of the company. "It's not healthy now that I know what's in the effing meat or the food or something." Okay, he says, even in a car of soup, something, it's blurry. Look at it. Bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a effing something. A piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. Okay? So that's basically what he's saying, and something racial. We see racism all the time. It's not shocking when people get exposed for being racist. And they said they're investigating. This doesn't represent the company's values. But a lot of people are like, look, he's saying that it's not real food. It's not real meat. Okay? And people have been saying this for a while because, look, we haven't seen food this bad in America like what we've been seeing these last couple of years. Even chefs are coming on TikTok saying that they don't want to serve the meat that they have to cook, or they can't cook with it because it's not real food. A lot of people have talked about the taste not tasting the same. And a lot of you know about Soilent Green. In my video about the reptilians and everything, there were a lot of movie suggestions in the comment section. Baby, I've seen these films. I was heavily into a lot of stuff researching. And thankfully, my mom had put me on to Soilent Green about 15 years ago. I actually have this on DVD. It's a masterpiece of a film, and I'm so happy that I see so many people, especially Gen Z and Gen Alpha, are learning about this film. This film was made before I was born, but I saw it years ago. And this film, if you don't want it ruined, don't listen to what I'm saying, okay? Just like with the Midnight Meat Train. Soilent Green is people. You hear that at the... Okay, this film was set in 2022. Now, this film was made during like 1970 something, but it's set in New York City, 2022. We're in 2025. The ozone layer is bad, climate change, people are starving, can't afford food. What we are going through now. So the government starts to ration out food, okay? Universal food type of thing, like universal healthcare. This is what we're feeding you, protein and all this stuff. It doesn't look like it tastes good at all. And this man up here, Charleston Heston, he works, look, the government is paying people to do certain type of jobs. He's a cop. His friend passed away, or somebody passed away, and he has to do an investigation. The man who was unalive, he works for the government. So he ends up snooping as a detective, and he finds out some things about what's really going on. And if you find out what he found out, you probably wouldn't want to live no more because it's like over, really. Having a piece of steak costs a lot of money. And it's sort of what we see right now. You know, if you go just to have healthy, really good food, you have to go to Whole Foods a lot. And Whole Foods is expensive unless you're growing your own vegetables and fruits and everything. You can get some organic things at the supermarket, but no one knows what's going on. Some stuff they advertise as organic, and then you might find out it's not. And to eat healthy, really good, really good healthy food, organic, it will cost you more a lot of times. Not all the time, but a lot of times, okay? They do have organic options at any supermarket, but sometimes it costs a little bit more. So basically, he finds out what happened to the oceans. Everything that happened in this film is relevant today. In fact, we're headed there. And some people say, baby, we're already in Soilent Green. They put this in this film because they planned on doing it, or they were doing it then, but you didn't know. I think it's very believable today because of what I'm about to show you. We'll revisit Soilent Green, okay? Let's see some videos about what's going on with the food here in America.
If you ever needed proof that they're messing with our food supply, watch this video. I just posted on my other account. If you don't follow me there, do. It's the Holistic Soul RN 2.0, but I was like, I gotta put this over here. Everybody needs to see it. Look at this. If you ever wondered if they are messing, they are messing with our food supply, let me show you something. I bought a papaya, okay? Because the seeds inside a papaya are great to eat. They're anti-parasitic. And I was like, I'm gonna get a papaya. Okay, this is my papaya, okay? I literally just cut it open, and there's usually like hundreds of seeds in here. And this is what it looks like. One guy. And then look at the color of the papaya. That doesn't look normal, but if you don't know what a papaya should look like on the inside, look, this is the picture right here. This is what a papaya should look like when you cut it open. That's how many seeds I was expecting. There's one freaking seed in there. What the hell? I'm not eating this. I'm not eating it. Bioengineered.
And this is supposedly organic from the supermarket. You know, when I first saw this, I couldn't believe it, really. Like, hold on. One seed is in that papaya? I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. This is not natural. This is not right. And this is fake food. How? Never in my life have I seen anything like this. Never in my life. That's how it's supposed to look. This is crazy. Okay, and then we wonder why cancer rates are going up in younger people, middle age and older in our country like we've never seen before.
Y'all, what are they doing to our food? I got these strawberries like 3 days ago. Why are they all rotten and moldy already? Same for zucchini, mango. Doesn't matter what you buy from the store.
Yes, I mean, I've had this happen a lot. Buying onions or grapes, strawberries like her, and it's supposed to last. I've seen a couple of videos of people saying your produce is supposed to last weeks. That's not the case. And you put it in the refrigerator and it's still rotting within 3 to 4 days. Okay, basically it's like it's old and they're trying to sell it like it's new. Now people will say, oh, why do people go to Walmart? Because it's more affordable. Times are hard. And I've been to other supermarkets who have also had this same issue, and they're supposed to be better than Walmart. So one thing I have noticed at Walmart, and Walmart does have the best store brands that I've ever tasted before. It tastes like the name brand. It tastes really good, some of it. But now I noticed with some of the chicken broth or chicken stock and the beef stock, it will tell me that I have until next year. It will be good until next year. No, within just a few of short weeks, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it's already clumping up and rotting. And that makes no sense. It's in the fridge. I used it, put it in the fridge. It says that I still have until next year. And absolutely not. It rots very easily. Even when I went to a food line and got grapes, some of them are they're not even good grapes, some of them. And other fruits and vegetables rotting extremely fast. And this is all over the place, Okay, let's look a little bit more.
So we're making cookies, and I just cracked open an egg from Costco.
Oh.
And that's what I got in the egg.
That's a tapeworm. Look at all this egg.
She cracked open the egg, and the egg has a tapeworm, a worm in it. And they said this is why, if you're cooking, crack your egg first in a bowl before you pour it over your food, what you're trying to bake something or whatever you're using it for. So look at that big old worm in the egg.
Okay, y'all, we got a problem. This bread is over a year old and looks fresher than we do on a Monday morning.
Okay, we literally got so many breads. They're literally all a year old. Not a single one has molded. And
we've got a bunch of different kinds. We've got hot dog buns.
A year old? Back a few years ago, your bread would start to mold within at least a week and a half to 2 weeks. Real bread. And it depends on where you store it as well. Sometimes it can mold quick, but bread is supposed to mold. Real bread.
And bagels, but none of them have mold. They're like,
you could tell it's a year old. It's harder than a rock. Some of them are soft.
These, like, they're still soft on the inside. They're squishy. I mean,
so is this. This is super soft.
I mean, and that's like December of 2024. I don't know what we were going to do with hot dogs around Christmas. Don't ask me that right now. But we have everything from tortillas to flaxseed wraps to lavish bread.
Great value, name brand, all of it.
This chick didn't believe me when I told her the bread used to mold when we were kids, like within 3 or 4 days. But like, this is concerning.
Imagine what's going on with our bodies. If that bread is not breaking down and it's not molding, and we're eating this, what do you think is going on in the body? If you're not absorbing nutrients because it doesn't have any and it's not breaking down. Okay, we have a surge of a lot of people getting colon cancer, all these cancers and sicknesses. I'm buying a lot of organic chicken because of something that happened that I'm going to show you right now. But before I do, I mean, what if something more sinister is going on? What if, like in the film Soilent Green, what if something has gone on in the environment that the government is not telling us? Something that's a disaster that maybe they can't fix, and they have resulted into trying to print fake meat with a 3D printer, human beings who are sick or passed away, instead of burying them, grinding them up into the ground beef and claiming as hamburger meat is very possible. Now, in Soilent Green, something had happened to the oceans, and they didn't tell the public something crucial. Because one thing you have to remember, everybody, if the animals pass away, we pass away. And whatever the animals eat, we eat. Whatever the animal eats, we eat, because we eat them, and it goes into our system. And without the animals being alive, without bees, honeybees, and the bees existing, we're going to not live. We're going to pass away. Now, this is a fact. Scientists said this years ago, that if the bees continue to get wiped out, humanity is going into an extinction event. They're not going to pollinate. It's other stuff too. And what if something has happened that the government is not telling us as to why the food is fake a lot, or it doesn't taste like what it used to? It literally has no flavor. a lot of it is not molding. That will let you know real quick, this is not real flour or bread. I don't know what you got going on here. But in some other countries, they are eating better than us. They are. Places like in France and Sweden and all these other type of places, they said, look, we have real ingredients in our bread and we eat just like you and we actually lose weight. Y'all, you know, America is filled with processed stuff and all types of stuff. So, okay, let me show you this video clip of the chicken. When I saw this the other month, I couldn't believe what I was seeing with my meat and I threw it all in the trash. I could not eat this. No way in the world. And I've been eating organic chicken now.
The world fucked up and I'm tired of this shit. Because they just sold me some lab-grown chicken without my consent. And I know this is lab-grown. Somebody literally tried to tell me this was not lab-grown meat. Look at this shit, bro. I did tear it apart to show them, but like, there's no way. Like, do you see how it's like gummy? And it's like, look. This shit is like... I bought this chicken on motherfucking Friday. What I did was I got freezer bags and I split it up. I think what it is when you freeze lab-grown meat, I don't think that you can preserve lab-grown. Like, why am I able to do this to my chicken? I done just made chicken nuggets without blender. Now, somebody had the audacity to tell me this is not lab meat. When do chicken be like this? It looks like a book. I can open pages of the fucking chicken. And it's throughout the whole chicken, both pieces. And this the Meyer brand. Now, there's no way this is a real chicken breast. There's no freaking way this is a real chicken breast. Like, there's no way. Somebody tell me I'm not crazy. This is fake meat. And they really thought I was finna eat this shit. Yeah, so I got ground chicken. We ain't eating that shit. Just so y'all know, I'm not lying. No freezer burn on this. This is the same chicken that came out the pack. And you could even see, if you look closely, you can see the same fibers in the chicken. It ain't been in the freezer for more than 4 days. Now, I'm telling you that. And I remember back in the day, my mom and them used to have freezer in the food for a whole month. And we still used to eat that shit. And it still used to be good. It still used to smell good. This got a little stench to it. It was wrapped up real nice and tight. Look at that. Old school, took the straw, sucked it out, rolled it up. Ain't nothing wrong with this chicken. Outside of the fact that it's not real chicken. Thought it was.
On top of the high grocery prices, I think that we're all buying fake meat. It's too soft. The texture's off. The smell is off. The taste is off. It's too soft. Like steak, I can like rip it apart with my fingers. That's not normal.
Can somebody please tell me what's going on with our food? Because at first it was just produce that seemed to be a little bit off, but now people are noticing that there's something really strange going on with the meat also. People are literally going bananas over this. At first, it was just this single incident. This family shared a bundle of bananas that they bought. They said something seemed very strange about these bananas and they were urging people not to eat them. The bananas were really stretchy. They were super dense. They didn't smell like normal bananas and it took a lot of force to get these bananas to break apart. People didn't think too much of it, but then this person shared these avocados that they bought. These avocados shared a very similar consistency to the bananas. They're extremely dense, really rubbery, and seem almost fake. They also had little to no odor, moisture, or flavor. These people have all been accused of buying fake fruit just to get views. This woman purchased this watermelon for her kids. She said it was extremely dense, stretchy, rubbery, hard to break. It had no odor, hardly any juice, and it was flavorless. She really pulled at it for a long time and it seemed to just stretch apart. Another person came forward after that with this watermelon. The outside skin seems to just be ripping off. No one can explain why this is happening to these watermelons or the other produce. It's starting to happen with our meat too. This person bought a 80-20 pound of beef. They said that the beef was not normal. The consistency was strange, it smelled strange, and the way it was cooking was definitely off. They cooked this beef down just to show you what the fat content versus the meat content was. Whether it was mislabeled or something else, people want answers. Look at how much fat is separating from this meat, and after she strains it, there is so much fluid left. Like, it doesn't even look like normal fat. Majority of the food shared in this video was purchased at the same company or sister company too. So is this an odd coincidence or is there something going on?
Do you ever think like, good God, I'm trying so hard to lose weight and I'm doing everything right, but it's so hard to make those good choices. I feel like there's something in the food. Let me tell you why I believe that. I came to America about 30 years ago. I was really thin. My whole family was thin. We were eating the same foods at home. We were not going out to eat at McDonald's. We were making everything at home. And we massively started gaining weight on the same food we would have been eating back home. Now, we were less educated than we are now, so we didn't know what was going on and we didn't know what to look for. Fast forward to today, and this has happened with 3 families I have helped come over from either Russia or Ukraine. Right now, I'm helping one family from Russia, and there's like 6 of them, and they are all of a healthy weight. Yesterday, I talked to them, and they're like, Lena, we're gaining weight. Like, we're all gaining weight. And like the mom, she's thin, right? And she's like, we don't know what's going on. So they started like looking at the food. For example, they noticed there's a lot of sugar in the milk. And compared to what they're used to back home, I'm not even talking about added sugar. I mean, it says that it's not added sugar, but compared to the kind of milk they were eating, tons of sugar. So they've completely cut out the sugar. She's trying to walk like 15,000 steps. She said, I wasn't really walking that much over there, but like now here I'm feeling like I have to keep moving my body in order to maintain my weight. There is something in the food. There are added things. There are things that change the way we feel hunger. I don't know what that is. I'm not a scientist, but just by basic example of seeing these people coming to America, always having been thin, and now all of a sudden being like, what the actual F is happening? This, my friends, is evidence, whatever that may be, that something is up. And I'm not saying they're just sitting on their butt. Maybe that's a factor, right? But I'm sorry. It's not that big of a difference in movement, and these people are trying to move their body, they're trying to do things, they're trying to get out and about, but something is in the food, and they're not going out to restaurants at all because they don't speak English, and they don't feel comfortable going to a restaurant trying to order. So everything is home cooked. Everything. They don't bring in sodas, they don't bring in any of the like junky in the middle foods because they don't really know what it is, so they try to stay away from it, yet still they are gaining weight. So if there's anything this story can tell you, my dear friend, it's not just you are not lazy. There's a food component there. I don't know what it is, man, but example, when I moved to Korea, I lost 40 pounds in the first 2 months. No, I was not walking that much more in order to lose 20 pounds a month, right? Something's in our food system, okay? And I'm not a conspiracy theorist person, but I just look at every family that I've helped come to America, and every time, about 4 months in, they're like, I don't know what's happening to my body. I don't feel good, and I'm gaining weight, and oh my God, what are we doing?
That is it. I want to know, how do you feel? How do you feel what you heard the executive say about Campbell? Campbell soup is bioengineered meat being printed from a 3D printer. He would never buy it, have it in his home, and things like that. And what do you think about the state of food? Do you have any suggestions? I mean, you could buy a cow, a half a cow, for about $1,500, and it's even more expensive for a whole cow. It will last you just about the whole year. Go to your local farmer's market and get real fruits and vegetables and chicken. Again, you can get it in the supermarket, they say. It can get a little bit pricier, not all the time. A lot more people are growing their food now. I see it on TikTok all the time. It doesn't cost a lot. They're growing bell peppers, potatoes, onions, and it's an uptick of a lot of people wanting to grow their food now because you know that it's real food. It doesn't make sense having fruit and vegetables. It doesn't have the seeds in it. That's insanity. So, this is crazy. Again, there are people who will say, "Oh, the government is trying to wipe us out." And then they'll say, the government will say, we need to stop. Women need to have kids. We got to have kids. The population ain't growing. No, abort. You know what? We need kids. We need kids. And then you hear, no, they're trying to make us sick and wipe us off the planet and change our DNA with this craziness going on with the food. And I've heard of Americans leaving to go to other countries because of the food quality. They're tired of They feel like we're some sort of experiment, like that movie Resident Evil type of thing. And now you're hearing this about Campbell's soup. I already knew something was off with it, but you know, you have officially heard it from the executive. And what do you think is going to happen, everybody? What do you think is going to happen when people really get fed up with this and what's going on with our food? Do you have any suggestions? Again, the most I can tell you is go to a farmer's market and a local butcher or farmer, how, you know, if you want to get fresh meat and everything, and learn how to grow your own food, make your own bread, buy a bread maker, you know, off of maybe eBay, Amazon, TikTok shop, get an old book with the recipes and make your own bread type of thing. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of eating food that has no taste. You're hungry and it's like eating nothing. It has no flavor, no taste. It doesn't taste like meat and the texture is weird. I'm tired of it, and a lot of you are too. Okay, so that is it for today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell and click all notifications so you know when I'm live and when I'm uploading. What do you think about what he said? And will you be buying Campbell's soup anymore if you were? And have you started eating differently, or can you recommend some things to people on what you're doing? Vegetarian, the vegetarian diet, a lot of people are doing that, and some people can't do it even though they try. I would say do a blend. It's great to have more beans and vegetables and fruits and everything. When you're a diabetic, you can't always have some of that all the time. Pasta, you know, that will spike up your blood sugar. You have to eat a lot of meat and vegetables. So that's pretty much it, everybody, again, for this video. Let us know how you are eating healthy. Where do you shop? If you want to share that information, and how do you feel about what the executive said about Campbell's soup being 3D printed meat and bioengineered. You all take care. Bye, everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell if you subscribe so you'll know when I'm live and when I'm uploading. Bye, everybody, again. Bye.